Hello, I'm so glad that you could join with me today. We are here to hear some messages from Spirit for the collective, and some of these messages will resonate and some of them will not. If you're looking for more personal guidance, please feel free to reach out. So let's talk about what we have here today in these three cards pulled. The first one that I feel very strongly connected to, we have many of you feeling these winds of change. Things are feeling lighter. Things are feeling more in tune with your manifesting. Your prayers are being answered. You are receiving messages of joy and things that are making you happy, things that feel wonderful, things that are celebratory, the things that you needed to feel relief, to feel uplifted, to feel energized, to feel inspired to continue on are happening for you. And it's a something that is a long time coming. You spent a great deal of time in a darker place. You spent a great deal of time struggling through difficulties, struggling to dealing with your various healing levels. I'm getting a lot of abandonment wounds and feeling disassociated or um, disconnected with your loved ones. And at the same time, you also understand that there is um, something really powerful about what's happening for you, because you're starting to become more in tune with the self. You're starting to really realize who you are, and that didn't define you, and it didn't allow you to be your best self either. So now that you have gotten some distance from this, while there's a lot of difficulties involved with that, it's going to come in waves. There's going to be times that you struggle to deal with um, the wounds that are going to take a long time to heal. And there's going to be things that rip the band-aid off and scratch these wounds open. Again, you'll be triggered into situations that feel like the same things are unfolding again. You're going to have to enforce your boundaries. You're going to have to feel strong in these situations. But there is a great deal of energy that feels much lighter for you. You know that you have an opportunity to do something really amazing with your life. You feel very called and connected to some greater purpose. And so you have not given up at this time. You've continued on, and though you are still very in close proximity to some of these things that have hurt you, you also feel very much that you have escaped them, and that you have possibly prevented yourself from never being able to leave these situations, because once a certain amount of damage has happened, it's even harder for us to leave these situations. And you know that it was hard enough just in the situation that you were in to escape the situations that were at hand. So you're just starting to really truly discover your own power. With that, there comes some difficulties, because there's never going to be a time that we're not faced with challenges. A lot of the patterns that you have learned in the past are easy to fall back into. I'm getting for some of you that there were means that you used to escape the situations and the feelings that you were having. So you may have used some kind of intoxicant in some way, or some kind of other distraction that was easily accessible. It was something that was very easy. And it wasn't something that I'm getting in some cases, it was either easy to use socially, or it was something that was generally seen as a healthy habit that actually wasn't being used in a healthy way. For some of you, though, I'm feeling that there are individual people that have a tendency to just be drawn into you when you're thriving. It's like they know that when you're up here, you're going to respond differently, and you're going to be more open and receptive to allowing people in. And so we have this tendency to build ourselves up. And then while we're up here, of course, we're warm and loving and open and receptive. And the people that we want to trust, that we think can be trusted, come into our life and immediately set back into tearing us down. They are drawn to you in that energy for a different reason than the new people have been drawn to you. So there's a pattern of these people using your down times as a good excuse for their bad behavior. And then when you're up here, they get back in. And then as soon as they see a crack, they exploit that crack. That leads you to some of the behaviors and patterns that you had utilized in the past. Maybe your reactions became aggressive. Maybe you would have conversations with them about other people, and these other conversations that were being had were not positive, loving conversations about other people. So you got kind of pulled back into this way of being that isn't really conducive to who you are now. It doesn't feel right, but it's just what we're used to. It's very difficult to walk away from a lifestyle or a friend group, or your family that has some really unhealthy behaviors. It is difficult for you to change your patterns. And with all of that effort, it's still easier to fall back into the ways that we used to deal with things. And so this card is here to remind us that nothing is worth going back there. Nothing. Even if that means spending time alone, even if that means that you don't have somebody to bounce that idea off of, even if that means that you have to struggle on your own for a little while and find new friends and find people to celebrate holidays with that aren't going to drag you back to that old self where they like you down here, it's worth it. It's worth that energy. It's too easy to be pulled back into these cycles that will never truly free us if we allow them back in. And as we continue to allow, like these people, these situations aren't going to change as much as we might want them to, and we desire them to be that way. That's just simply not how it works. It's going to be a situation of you choosing to elevate yourself, you choosing to be empowered. And that's what this Two of Wands is about. It's about harnessing your power. It's about staying in touch with what it is that you truly desire and how good you really feel right now. Saying, I have to make sacrifices. I don't want to live back here anymore. I've got to make the sacrifices necessary, and I need to stay honed in and focused on what it is that I want, where I want to be heading, my purposes and my goals that I've had that uplift me, that inspire me, that have kept me on track, that have brought me to this place. They're going to keep me on track. But it's my will that does that. It's my desire. It's what I want that does that. And so it's going to require a lot of energy and a lot of intention, but you're more than capable. You can do this. You stay on track. So we have fear and purification. So as scary as it sounds, sometimes it is a fear of returning to a life that we left that keeps us the most focused and direct on our journey. It's an act of faith and trust to face the things that were not our best moments, our best times, our best behaviors, and turn around and do something that's not been done before. And so while we we might not know all the answers and we might not know what's up ahead. We've still decided that we know enough about where we've come from and what's behind us that we've decided it's just not what we want any longer. You know what's back there. You know where you came from. You know what you've experienced, and you know that it just didn't sit right with you, and so you had to walk away from a lot of things. And at this point, Spirit is saying the only thing that's holding you back is not understanding what's up ahead. But Spirit is also telling you that it is when you have cast off all of this armor, when you have shed all of these things that no longer serve you, that maybe never did serve you, but when we make ourselves vulnerable, when we leave all of the shields behind and we put down the arms and we step bravely into the next phase of our healing, it is then that we're able to receive the most out of this. That is Spirit giving us an opportunity to begin anew. It feels as though there's a lack. It feels as though we've let go of a lot. It feels very uncertain and shaky at times, but it's through these times that we've opened up the opportunity for us to receive what's really meant for us. There is a sense of having to release everything, even some things that we didn't think were bad things, some mindsets, some patterns. There's a tremendous amount of sacrifice here. It feels like in order for you to truly feel like you can be who you feel you are, that you have to make some great sacrifices of things that were easy and safe and comfortable at one point, even if they didn't truly reflect how you feel today. So, with this process of shedding, we're decluttering, we're cleaning, we're removing the things that remind us of our bad patterns and habits, and knowing confidently that we don't have to return back to that place. Instead, we can approach the future with a knowing and understanding that Spirit wants what we want. It wants better for us. It wants us to be our true self, our at our highest potential. It wants us to seek our purpose as a journey, not a destination. It wants us to continue being this beautiful creature in the eyes of Spirit that is perfect in every way, and this journey is perfect in every way. But there are processes that are required in order for that to occur. If you came to this video because you are in a transitional period, the messages here are about you facing the things that were scary to you, things that you didn't know, things that you'd never experienced before, with an openness, with a welcoming, with a I'm ready for something new. I I have to allow myself to receive, and I had to make space for that. I had to stop adding toxins into my body. I had to stop using chemicals and other things that were not necessary to my health. I needed to start exercising and treating my body as the temple that it is. For some of you, you may need to cut back on junk food and other habits that are adding um, other problems into your physical bloodstream, and with that, affecting your hormones and affecting your mood. If you've not taken time to meditate and allow your mind to clear, you're finding it necessary now to take personal space, to go out into nature, to share with Spirit your most vulnerable open state so that you can truly become in touch with yourself. You're eliminating extra sugar and chemicals and things like that that make you feel sick and unwell. Now that you have some separation from them, you start to really truly feel that these things were important for you to let go of. They were important for you to allow spirit to heal itself, by treating your body with the reverence that it deserves, cleaning out your physical space, but also cleaning out your mental space, cleaning out your temple space, cleaning your body from the toxins that don't belong in it anymore. As this you go forward, is even going to be more things that you feel um, necessary to remove from your life. And when you remove these things from your life, you may feel as though this is a type of disconnection from circles of people and people that you love. But know that going forward, as you make these sacrifices in order for a better life for yourself, that Spirit's also guiding you to the situations, the relationships that support this endeavor as well, that will applaud you, that will lift you up for this work. The people that we have in our life now um, may not all fall to the wayside. They may also join us in this elevation. They may become a part of your future as well. We have to trust that there is a path and a purpose for all of this. We have to recognize that we can love people without allowing them to infiltrate our space and to change our energy in these ways. So you can spend as much time as you want reminiscing with friends about the old times and the ways that you used to be, but living there didn't give you the same satisfaction as it does going forward. Even though you don't have the answers, you're doing so with a space of really truly caring about yourself and truly loving the life that you're living and wanting to experience more of that. Okay, really good stuff here. For this third section, we have this loss or lack card, which is a fear and a sense of feeling as though life is happening to you and not for you. It feels as though spirit is yanking things out from under you, and yet you're still carrying on. So maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's the mindset that we're having. Maybe that we're not thanking spirit for removing these people and situations from our life. We're feeling as though it's being taken from us and things are happening to us rather than happening for us. Spirit brings us this card. Life is a canvas. You are an artist. You are manifesting. But with that, you have to take accountability for these changes that are occurring. So rather than it happening to you, recognize that it's happening for you. You want change. You wanted change. Did you think that things weren't going to change? Of course they were going to change. You wanted a better life. Did you think that the same situations that you were allowing to occur were going to continue? You have to let them go. The greatest tool that we have as alchemists, as healers, as witches, as magicians, as individuals in this difficult life is to recognize the situations that we ourselves allowed to transpire for far too long, that we ourselves put in ourselves in that situation, that our bad choices facilitated the situation to get where it was. And once we do that, we then become more powerful because we now recognize how much control we truly have over our lives. We now understand that, well, if I allowed this situation to occur, I wanted better. I asked spirit to remove it from all the things that I needed removed from my life to be removed from my life. And now I'm sitting there complaining about it. But rather, if you take accountability for that and say, I thank you for removing that. I was not aware of how toxic that was. I was not aware of this bad pattern. But now I'm in control of the situation. Now I also can make something different happen for myself. I can change the way this looks. I can start this canvas over. I can paint it a blank slate and I can begin again. Now, I had already painted something before and I didn't like the look of it, I can start again. And I have the skills that I had when I started, but now I'm probably better at it because I've got a little bit of practice and I know a little bit more about what I want it to look like. I definitely know what I don't want. So we cannot look at the things that are occurring to us as it's happening to me. While we have numerous situations that occur in life that are beyond our control, there are times that the world is a cruel place and situations unfold that are completely beyond your power. The people that survive those, that thrive after those events, are the people that recognize that they are not a victim. They have a mindset of, I can overcome. I can bring something out of this. I can mold this into the way I want it to be. I can help others as a result of this. I can become who it is that I needed in that time for someone else. The people that thrive after these circumstances are the people that take accountability for their lives, not for other people and what other people may have done in the situation, but what they themselves have power over. They decide what's next. They decide who they are after the fact. They don't allow someone else to define them as the person that this happened to. They define themselves as the person who became this after that happened. It's all about taking your own personal accountability in where your life is going. You cannot always control the things that transpire. You can control your reaction to them and what you do with it afterwards. That's what Spirit wants us to know here as it brings this wisdom card, the wolf spirit, turning knowledge into wisdom. The big difference is when we know better and we do better. Whereas even when we know better, we still choose to do the same things over and over again, or we choose to allow the same circumstances and laugh about it and then turn it into a poor me situation, a pity party situation. If I know that spending time with certain individuals is going to lead to me um, behaving in a certain way and then feeling bad about it, it's not a poor me situation. And anything that happens in that situation, I could have avoided by not making that choice. I could have stayed out of that situation, but I didn't. If I went back into that situation, I was opening myself up to whatever was going to transpire. Now, yes, I can do with it what I want to do with it, or I could have made a smarter decision and moved forward in a different way. I could have decided that that wasn't for me anymore and stayed home. I could have said, as tempting as that is, I do know what that's going to turn into. And I do know that I'm going to inevitably not feel like my best self. So rather than allowing these situations to take over my life, I'm taking accountability for them. And in doing so, in taking accountability for them, I'm also taking the knowledge that I already have from the experiences that I've already had and using them to make better decisions. If you don't make a point to analyze your behavior and take accountability for your behavior in these situations and then choose to do better, you absolutely will keep finding yourself in this feeling of being a victim. But how long can you use that story? How long can you continue to be like, well, this keeps happening to me, when you keep having the option to do something different and you keep making the same bad choices? At some point, you have to take responsibility for the things that you are doing, that you have allowed to occur, and that you continually put yourself in these situations and these environments that lead to this type of situation. This is not a blaming the victim type of a mindset, and it's more of a recognize that there are circumstances that are in your control. And if you know better and you don't do better, You can't blame anyone but yourself. If you know that going to a certain environment opens up danger for you, why would you return to that environment? If you know that going out with a certain group of people and partying it up with them is going to lead you to probably messing up your finances, maybe messing up your vehicle, you're going to feel like crap for a week, you know that, and yet you chose that, whose fault is that? It's not anyone's fault but yours. That was your choice in the matter, was to go and do the thing. Even though in your mind you knew, I don't feel good after this happens. I don't feel safe in this environment. I don't like the way I feel being around these people. I know that I'm going to make bad choices in this situation. If you don't take responsibility for your choice to put yourself into that position again, you're going to open yourself up for more things to occur. And at some point, you have to recognize that you're the one not making the proper choices. So this is where it steps up and it says, hey, do you want better? Do you know better? Then do better. Make those sacrifices, make the changes necessary to change your life if you want it to be a better life. If you feel unappreciated and unloved where you're at, you can sit there and complain about it all you want. If you didn't take any steps to get out of it, you're going to continue to feel that way. If you know that you can't just get out of that by yourself, ask for help. Turn that knowledge and information that you have into doing something about it in a way that is actually going to help you. Taking action or making decisions based on what you know rather than just allowing these things to transpire. It will change your life. Being accountable for your actions, actually making serious choices for the betterment of your life, it will change your life in ways that you never expected. A little bit of tough love today. Thank you for being here with me, and I hope to hear from you. Much love.